So
What's
both
happening?
of us be visual, like they would be able to see both of us.
Hello and welcome to Alien Info, another video. And today is a very special one because I've got a guest with me on the video, none other than Daniela DeCastro, and she's the psychic medium. And in light of recent events, we're going to be discussing today about black holes. And seeing as Daniela DeCastro is a psychic medium, we're going to really kind of bring in the synergy of black holes and spirituality. And there's been some breaking news, and I think it's really important because there's been a photograph for the first time ever of a black hole, right? And I remember the day, and you probably do too, Daniela, when black holes were just a mere theory. They weren't fact. It was like a
Yeah,
hypothesis. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah, the same as today, people talk about the Oort cloud as if it's fact, but in actual fact, like it's not verified that there's even an Oort cloud beyond the solar system. And maybe one day they'll get substantial photographic evidence of it, just like they have today of the black hole. And it's pretty exciting. What were your first thoughts when you saw the photograph that they took of the black hole, Daniela?
Well, the first thing is it's about time. And I'm very excited about it because to me, it seems like a lot of things are coming to light. And because, like you said, there have been a lot of theories and things like that. But now science is catching up. And I feel like it all comes together. Everything is connected. And math, science is the language of the universe, they always say, right? So
Yeah,
I think the more that comes to light, I think it's a good thing because I think most people need to take things in stages. Like
mhm,
I don't know, maybe they can't process too much
yeah,
because to me, this is just the beginning. Now that we know that this exists, I think it ties into other things. And
yeah.
that's what spirituality, I just my own thoughts comes into play.
Yeah, definitely. Like the unfolding of things, and like because I ultimately believe that there'll be like where aliens are concerned, and this isn't alien channels, I have to bring aliens into it, but like are going to be like a second nature thing that everyone talks about. In fact, there was someone famous, he was an astronaut, and he once said that one day we'll not be asking one another, oh, where are you from, like meaning, are you from Florida, are you from California, are you from England, we're going to be asking like, are you from Earth, because like that's where we're going to get to like long in the future. And so, yeah, I think with the black hole, it's like it was once incomprehensible, and now it's like we're so much closer to the reality of the existence of black holes. I mean, we can't dispute it. It's not a debate anymore, you know?
Did you watch anything on Spirit Science about the black hole? Because I thought it was kind of funny. It made it seem very flat. You know what I mean? And the guy was saying at one time they thought the Earth was flat, and then we had to prove that it's not. And I know that some people still think that it's flat, but I think there's been quite a bit of evidence to the contrary. But again, to each his own, right? But that
Yeah.
being said, so
Mm.
if they like that just doesn't make sense to me that it's flat like that. I mean, we know that it pulls everything in, right?
Yeah.
But it's like energy is neither created nor destroyed. So everything that goes in there has to be coming out somewhere else, right? Like
Yeah,
what you
that's right. Well, you would think so. Yeah, I see your train of thought, and I'm thinking along the same lines. And that's what I wanted to ask you about this evening, is because, like you kind of, as a psychic medium, you would maybe be able to glean some insight as to where that energy goes, because you're more about energy, aren't you? And like people passing over, I mean, when that energy enters the black hole, I mean, where do you think it goes?
uh, personally, I think it goes into other dimensions, other realities, and things of that nature. So that being said, um, I know you're comfortable with the word aliens.
Mhm.
To me, they're just all other beings. Like you said, people would ask, "Oh, what country are you from?"
Mm.
And I know that people like to get very tethered down, like, "Oh, the archangels are from here or this from there." God bless. And I just think we get too stuck on labels. And when
Mhm.
you get, and what are labels about, right? But to make separation. And that's why I'm not really into labels because, again, it's energy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
does it really matter that I'm from the States and you're from England? Does it matter? We're from Earth. And as long as the energy is positive, loving, right, comes from that place, does it matter if they're from Jupiter, they're from Mars, they're from faraway galaxy? Does it really matter? As
Yeah.
long as it's loving and kind, not really. They're just beings existing like we are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's
I
right.
can't believe, like, aliens is a strong word, and I think people get really hung up on that, you know?
Mm, mm.
And because there are a lot of people that I've run into that believe that they're already here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. A lot of people do think that.
And so
Yeah.
they're coexisting with us. Okay, so you have that train of thought. What about, I mean, have you seen, like, on YouTube or whatever, the videos where there's a clock running in the background, you know, it's just a storefront, and somebody comes through out of nowhere, or all of a sudden somebody's being videotaped and someone comes out of nowhere. So it already seems there's plenty of evidence there's something going on.
Oh, interesting you should say that. I never thought about that in context of what we're talking about, but I have seen those YouTube videos, like CCTV footage of like people appearing or ghostly figures or yeah, and like they're like a mystery. But you know what I was going to ask you is because I have quite a scientific mind, and I think that there's a great relationship between science and spirituality because they're as we evolve and time goes on, they're becoming more merged, aren't they?
They are. They are.
They are. But so far as the black hole is concerned, the gravity is so immense that I mean they say that this black hole that was photographed, is the size of our entire solar system, and that's just pure dense matter. And the gravity is so immense that like it just pulls everything into it. And you'll notice on that image, and I wonder if I can just at this point just share my screen and show the image.
That's a
Uh,
great idea. Let's do it.
yeah. So can you see that image on my screen?
I cannot.
You
Oh,
can.
now I
Oh,
can.
now
Now
you can. Yeah. Okay. So this is the black hole, and when I first saw it, I thought it was a bit eerie, because it's like it's very surreal. But you see this brighter light going around the bottom. Can you see
Mhm.
that?
I can.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I was just wondering if you can, then I know our viewers can, because I wasn't sure if I was actually sharing my screen or not. Okay, but what's happening there is that is actually matter, yeah, but it's turned into energy and it's traveling at the speed of light, right? And that's what that bright light
Faster.
is.
I thought it was even faster than the speed of light, from what I
Well,
heard.
yeah. Well, it could be, and of course, we don't know. I would suspect the same as you, Daniela, that it's traveling faster than the speed of light. But then Einstein's theory is that the speed of light is the speed limit of the universe, and nothing exceeds it. I personally think that there is things that exceed the speed of light. But anyway, so this is traveling at the speed of light. It's become energy. It's turned from matter into energy, right? So my question is that let's suppose that the black hole is a portal into other dimensions or a wormhole, right? So let's say that
Mhm.
we were able to send some type of a craft, with like humans in it or something, that we're going to go and pass through this portal. Before we get anywhere near, matter cannot exist anymore. Matter will, whatever vehicle you're traveling in will just be crushed and destroyed, and then like all the atoms is going to become energy, and like it's just going to be, matter cannot exist. All right, it's just going to turn into light. So what I was thinking then is that could this be a portal for light beings or energy beings, or uh something beyond our 3D type state of physical matter? Could it be that? Because we cannot, as much as we would love to, Daniela, like we can't go through that hole, um, as
Right.
in our current state and live, you know? So,
Right.
what are your thoughts?
Well, I would agree that it doesn't seem like we could survive it, right?
Yeah,
And even if we tried sending something in, it wouldn't continue to exist in the same state,
yeah,
right?
correct.
So, but I would agree with you, our bodies limit us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
even for us to travel, like astral projection and things like that, it I think all this stuff is possible for us and we can do this. So what if we like, we're saying our physical bodies can't go through, but what about like if we put our minds to it and tried traveling through that way?
Absolutely.
Once we didn't have a physical body, we could do this. And then when you're talking about other beings, say, like you said, the spiritual way, if somebody had already passed, because all it takes for them to connect, and again, this is my own personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody disagrees, that's fine. But all you need to do is, through the heart, connect with somebody that has passed over, like a loved one, and that connection is there. It is so much easier than you could possibly imagine. And
Mm.
you and I have traveled to each other across the ocean, just by connecting energetically.
Mm.
I think it would be cool, like to experiment and just try that, right? Just try to do astral projection.
Yeah, absolutely. But let me ask you this question. Like, is a black hole necessary to travel like vast distances when in actual fact we can travel there just by intending and thinking it?
Okay, this is not a simple answer, okay?
Yeah, no, of course. And
Yeah.
like
No,
everything
no,
that
no.
we're
But
discussing,
right. It's all
it's just discussion.
hypothetical and stuff like that. But
It's discussion. Yeah.
I've this is going to sound really out there, but I have spoken with beings that are no longer in a physical body.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
using mediumship gifts,
Yeah.
and believe it or not, more than once, beings have told me because there was one person that I worked with. It really was just we were having a social engagement, and his family came through. I think he had three brothers that had passed over already,
Mm-hmm.
and they hadn't been around for 20 years. They did not come through any mediums or anything.
Mm.
And their reasoning was they were so far away doing their work in
Yeah.
other galaxies that it's like a radio frequency, a signal. It
Mm-hmm.
was too far for the medium to connect with them.
Mm.
And that was many years ago that they shared that with me. And the information that they were giving me, he knew for a fact it was his brothers. There was no question in his mind that's who I was getting in touch with. And
Mm.
like I said, we weren't even trying, we were just having dinner together.
Yeah.
Then I had a being pass, and she told me a similar story. And she would give me the name of the galaxies that she was in, that she was currently in, that I had
Mhm.
never heard of. And then when I would do my research, it existed.
Oh wow, that was pretty amazing.
It was amazing because that's not my area of expertise. You know what I'm saying? I never claimed it was.
Mm.
So I would give the information that I was receiving to the client, and
Mm.
then we would do our individual research, and it would be verified. The information that she was giving me, it was verified. Locations, and she as well
Mhm.
said we were not always able to get in touch with her because the frequency, the signal was too far away because of where she currently was.
That's really interesting because I had no idea that distance was a factor in these things. So
Neither did I.
yeah, it's amazing. Okay, very interesting. So then one would think that maybe a black hole would be necessary if we're talking about a distance that's so vast. I mean, with a black hole, because there's another aspect to it as well. It's not just like to do with matter, but and space, but time, because theoretical physicists would say that, like, if you were in a black hole, assuming that it's possible, that time would stop, or time would do all kinds of weird, fucked up things, because like it's yeah, it's
Well, actually, even outside of the black hole, they don't think it exists. Time is like for our universe.
yeah, okay,
So
yeah, it's a
and
big thing.
it's not like it's not at all the way from again working with guides and things like that. It's not the way we think it is. You know what I mean? I think that makes it easier for humans to exist. Like we like structure, right?
Yeah. That's
Because
right.
this might be a little bit too outside of this scope, but
It's
did
okay.
you
Let's be free. Let's be free. Go for
did
it.
you when I was younger, but a grown up, I guess, I would tap into, I thought I was just remembering things, but it was a very positive experience for me. I would think about my childhood and I would tap into like a day in a life, just a regular thing of being with my family and stuff like that. And the joy that I would receive in that moment, it was almost like I was touching it.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I later learned, it's almost like a loop that it still exists. It's somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
experience is somewhere and you can reach out and connect energy. I don't know how to explain it, but it does seem possible to do.
Right. Okay. It's very,
So
very
even when
interesting.
people pass on, I was always wondering growing up, like, are they still in existence somewhere? And I think that they are.
Yeah. Well, they are. Yeah,
And I
definitely.
don't mean just like, okay, they passed on, they're no longer with a body, but it's almost like that day, like almost like each day never ends.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that. Like I think so that I don't really believe in time the way that we've been taught. Right? We got that neat little calendar and everything. And we make such a big deal about New Year's. Who gets, like really? It's so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It is. It is. It really is. I agree with you. And we're so linear, aren't we? You know.
Yes, we are. And it's a
Yeah.
program, I feel.
Yeah. 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 Definitely.
And
But
I do
yeah.
think going through the black hole, I think it could be like infinite, like dimensions, realities. And just
Mm,
in my own mind, I'm starting to see it almost like lines on a paper. You know what I mean? Like school paper.
okay.
What if there's just a teeny bit of separation between each dimension? I think there's something like that happening.
Right.
Deja vu and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe the black hole, or not just the black hole, the black hole might be one of many gateways
Right.
into.
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, like some say that there's like portals here on the Earth, in the Bermuda Triangle, and
Exactly.
maybe and sacred sites, and maybe in Iraq, and there's various locations on the Earth where people claim that they can, like, yeah. So if that's the case, then it would be like maybe very thin and fine between, yeah. It's very interesting, and yet, like modern man, after so many, as technologically advanced as we are, we don't know shit about how
Don't.
to like harness and utilize these spiritual type things, and crossing over into different places. And they say there's infinite dimensions or parallel dimensions and parallel things going on, and we don't know shit about it. Which is really fascinating when you think what we can do. You know.
Well, they say that we keep losing the technology because man gets too greedy or whatever, you know what I mean? Too power hungry. Like,
Mm.
and it's really interesting because if you look at the scrolls and things like that, right? There's evidence of it, like that there were there were points in time that we had more knowledge.
Yeah.
So I do think like the pyramids, okay, that's supposed to be where people were able to go from one part of the world to another part.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot more. It seems like the more you like dig, more that you want to learn, the less you realize, the less that you actually know. That's what it seems like to me.
Exactly, exactly. I see what you mean. But hey, you know what? One takeaway that I got from this image of the black hole, and I think that you'll be able to elaborate on this a lot better than I would, because I know that you are deeply um, into meditation. And like, I found that since I got a visual on the black hole, and it's etched in my brain now, and like I can visualize it, like I find that if I meditate and I want to put that negative energy somewhere that it will never return, and I have visualizations of sending it into the black hole where nothing can escape, because that's a true fact. Nothing that enters the black hole has any hope of escaping, because it's like a Hoover, isn't it? Just like sucks it in, and that's it, destroyed. So I think that that can be a really powerful visualization, when we're trying to, like, you talk about clearing in the previous conversations we've had. You've talked to me about clearing, which is really interesting. So yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts? Like, how can we better our lives with the knowledge of the black hole?
Well, I like that take. The only thing that crossed my mind, if it comes out some other way,
Yeah.
like if before I would, because you got to be responsible with your energy, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all have to. So
Hmm.
just say we're on the other side of that black hole, an aspect of self. Did
Oh,
you want to really dump that garbage on that other aspect of yourself?
well, I
That
never
being
thought of
said,
that. Mm.
Right. So you, I don't know, to me, even if it wasn't us, but I do think there are other aspects of us. I firmly believe that, that we're connected. And I do think that's where deja vu comes in sometimes. Sometimes physical ailments. Maybe nothing happened to your body in this realm, but it happened somewhere and you can actually feel that energetically.
Right.
About this, to put a little bit of a twist on that, if you wanted to clear yourself and send it into the black hole, that's really cool. But what if you put a little safety net and like your intentions to have it transmuted into love as it goes through there, not just
Oh,
dropping it off, but to have it turn back into love?
oh, interesting. Well, yeah. I mean, well, that would
Just
be
a
good.
little bit of a twist.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that would be an interesting thing to do. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it because you see, this is what I mean. Like, you're more into this than I, and I had never thought of maybe the implications of putting negative stuff out there into the universe and how it could maybe affect something or someone. So you're saying like maybe turn it into love when you send it out.
Right. Like have that, go through the black hole and transmute into love. Because even when I release into the earth, the reason why you do that is because it's like a filtration system. And we're assuming, like, because the earth to me does feel very loving,
Yeah,
very kind, nurturing.
yeah.
So I do think, like, it's that intention, like, thank you for taking this energy away from me. And you know that the earth has it, but
Hmm.
I never want to cause harm to the earth. I do a lot of prayers and healing work for the earth.
Yeah.
So it's always like wherever I send it, even if I send it out to the universe, which I also have a routine with that as well. And that's some heavy duty energy when I move it out that way.
Yeah.
It's always, as I put it in this white like balloon or bubble, I seal it with a golden ribbon and I release it back to the universe from which it came with love. It will just like diminish into all these particles, but with love.
I see.
Because I
Okay.
don't want to harm anything or anyone.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if we're all connected, I believe there's an aspect of us, even if it's not, say I'm wrong. But if we're all connected, why would I want to harm what you would call the aliens?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
You
that's cool.
know, other
Well,
universes, other dimensions.
yeah. Well, what we do on Earth does affect, I think, the intergalactic community because,
From what I heard, absolutely.
yeah, because I've never understood it, but I know that like when there's been alien visitation on the Earth in modern times, there's like a pattern. They always tend to go to nuclear sites and military sites, and it's always when something is developing or there's some kind of special news or something is going on, and then all of a sudden there's like a spike in a spike in alien sightings, and they go to these places of importance, and then people that
Usually
channel
to
aliens
help,
and people.
right?
Sorry.
It's usually to help humans,
Yeah,
like
to
or
help you.
protect us.
That's right. But like I've also heard that they have said that it affects them somehow, and I don't understand how, but
You don't
apparently.
understand how? Are
Uh,
you kidding? Like, just think about it. Do you remember 9/11? Right? They were
yeah, yeah,
measuring the frequency.
yeah.
So they didn't think it would affect humans in that way, but it did, right? It affected the whole planet.
Oh yeah, like
It changed
consciously.
consciousness. But
Yeah.
then they found with even more research, it affected the actual planet.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, I heard about that, and that makes sense to me. But like,
Okay,
do you
so
think? Sorry, go on.
yeah, I do think. So if that energy affects all the humans and it affects the planet, we are all connected. Yes, I do believe that it would impact the solar system. And supposedly that's why they're watching over us because we absolutely do impact them. And they're trying to get us to stop harming ourselves, to stop harming the planet, start harming people, like with war and everything like that.
Right.
The
I
ones
see.
that are guiding us.
Okay. Yeah. All right then. So yeah, it's not so much like we're physically affecting them, but in
Oh,
the
but
collective
energetically.
consciousness,
It's an energetic thing.
energetically. Oh, I see.
Mhm.
Interesting. Interesting. But hey, Daniela, I wanted to ask you, for the sake of anyone who's watching this video, if someone wanted to learn more about you, or if they wanted to book you for a session, like how do they go about doing that? Why don't you go ahead and tell them?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I have a website, www.daniela decastro.com. Maybe you could have a little link on the
I
bottom
will.
of this that they can sign on to.
Will
If you
do.
want to learn more about me, you can go to my YouTube channel, Daniela DeCastro.
I'll put a link
So,
as well.
yeah, I would appreciate that. But yeah, I've really had a lot of fun doing this.
Oh, good. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, me too. It was good. It was very good. And yeah, I'd love to do it again. If you'll do this with me again, that'd be really good. And I hope that you will go over to Daniella's website and check it out because there's some very interesting stuff on there. And she's also got a store, and there's like lots of cool things to look at as well. You might want to make a purchase, and you can book her for a psychic medium session. Can't people? They
Absolutely.
can do that as well, can't they? So yeah, that'd be really cool if you did that, and that'd be great. Well, thank you, Daniela, so much. It's been a really interesting conversation, and
Thank you. I loved it.
yeah, oh, good. Yeah, well, me too, and I hope that we can do it again on a different topic. That'd be really cool. All right.
It's funny. I really enjoyed this topic, though.
Yeah, I know it's a good topic. I enjoy everything to do with space. Yeah, space and planets and everything. It's
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 very
really cool.
interesting to me, though, that it didn't occur to you that just say if we went into a nuclear war, you didn't realize that the energy would impact the universe. Like
Well, I
that's
heard.
interesting.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I heard that it would, but I didn't really understand how it would. And I think it's because like I'm like kind of there's like my spiritual aspect, and then I've got a very much a left brain scientific side as well.
Hmm.
And like I know that because like one of the issues I have with astrology is people talk about like when the planets are lining up in a synergy, sorry, a syzygy, they're all aligned, or if this is passing over here and that's going on over there, and the moon is in this phase, and you're born at that precise moment, that it means you're going to do this and this, or it means you're going to have this personality or that personality. And then I'm thinking, well, you know what, like gravitationally, like it has no effect on us whatsoever. Like there's absolutely no scientific basis for any of those types of assertions. And I'm thinking, well, like, so what's that all about, so like on a so I'm also thinking about distance, right? So like let's say we got like a planet, because some of these aliens are coming from like the Palladian constellation,
Absolutely.
from like many light years, maybe the other side of the universe, right? And I'm thinking, well, how can we have any effect upon them? Because we were talking earlier in the conversation about distance and
Mhm.
about like psychic mediums found it difficult if they were trying to communicate vast distances across space because the signal, is like weak. So I guess I was thinking, well, maybe like space, like vast amounts of space would like kind of make it ineffective, whatever our behaviors here on Earth are. Do you know what I mean?
But
But
think just another little weird twist on it.
yeah, yeah, go for it.
Some people like they think it's from aliens or whatever, right? Interfering with our frequencies. And
Yeah.
they feel like this wet blanket of emotions upon us where people are feeling more depressed, right? Or
Mm.
angry. So I think that's energy coming in from different type of beings that
Yeah.
may, because there's always like a yin and a yang from what I noticed.
Yeah.
So you have, I believe, beings that are trying to help the planet and guide us and love us, and perhaps there are others that have other things, motives.
They,
It definitely impacts our emotions. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's them coming in.
Mm.
But I think as consciousness raises and people become more aware and take back their power,
Hmm.
we can bust out of things. You know what I mean? Like break the lid off of something. I don't know.
Definitely.
Because I've
Well,
even heard from people that they have a hard time praying, like remembering they may have been brought up with Our Father, you know what I mean? That
mhm.
prayer.
Yeah.
And the energy is so strong they can't remember the words. I've had many, many people tell me that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, never heard that?
No, I hadn't ever heard that. No, no, I hadn't. But
I've
interesting. I
heard it
can
from
believe
way
it.
too many people.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think as you raise your vibration, maybe a fighter attitude, I don't know, but persistence, I think you can bust out of things. Like even if something was trying to like keep you down, there are ways to take back your power.
Yeah, I can believe it. I think that we have no idea of our potential because
I agree.
we have so much potential and so much power, and yet we're so watered down, aren't we? You know,
Yes.
and like it's a shame, but yeah,
Well, it's
yeah,
actually, I find it, I don't know, it just seems like very exciting times. Like with the black hole, I think we're going to get more and more information and the more empowered we become because I don't know why we think we're the only game in town. That just seems funny to me.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I think as we realize our perspective, like changes, right? And
yeah,
we matter. When think about that, like we think, oh, we're out here, we're the only ones, and everything. To realize that we're one, which right, there's so much. It's vast,
yeah.
but yet we matter.
Hmm.
We're significant. So I think as we take back our power, maybe knowledge is power, and as we grow and learn and evolve, I think we're going to be breaking ceilings.
Yeah,
It's
definitely,
going to be an
definitely.
incredibly powerful time, but you want to be like a pioneer and not a victim.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, on every level, I agree with that because I think, yeah, scientists are making breakthroughs, and even individually, we are as well. You know, because like we're becoming smarter as a human race individually. You know, as we are all evolving individually and collectively. You
And
know,
as we do that, we're raising the vibrations and we bring more and more. It makes it easier for people to follow. You know what I mean? To come up to,
absolutely.
it's almost like a rose blooming.
Absolutely, I agree. And have you noticed, even in the animal kingdom, there's a like an acceleration of evolution as well? Have you found that animals are becoming more like humans? Because I
I,
have
I mean, I,
in their behavior. Yeah,
for me, it's a little difficult because I connect very well with animals that
mm,
are alive, ones that have passed, because with the mediumship, animals come to me.
yeah.
So I also do animal readings,
Mhm.
with the departed ones. I've always connected with animals since I was a child. They used to make fun of me because, you're just a kid, so it's a very natural thing.
Did
And
they call you Doctor Doolittle?
well, the thing is, they thought it was really odd, but I swore that my dog talked to me, and now I realize it was telepathy.
Mm,
It's just a very interesting. I hear that from so many people,
yeah,
and it's not just cuckoo cuckoo because I had this one lady tell me about a horse, and the horse told her stories about herself, and she asked the owner,
right.
"Listen, this horse said that it came from Georgia. It was ripped away from its mother before it was supposed to be. All these details, and it was truth."
Wow.
That blew me away. Like, how the heck does a horse know what state it's in? I mean, I just thought that was fascinating.
It is fascinating, but at the same time, I'm not surprised because oftentimes, you know, you look into an animal's eyes and you can see that they're aware and you can see the cogs turning and you know that they're thinking, you know?
I
And,
agree. I,
yeah,
I agree because to me, it never made sense. Like I was told that only humans have souls and we were the only ones that would go to heaven and stuff like that. And I cried
yeah,
because of dogs that passed over and stuff like that. And it didn't seem fair to me that they ceased to exist. And I found it to be not true. They
yeah.
absolutely still exist. And honestly, I think animals have a purity that
Mm.
most humans would be a good idea to aspire to.
Oh,
You know,
for sure, for sure. Yeah,
right?
you're
That
absolutely right.
unconditional love.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree totally. And, you know, I find it interesting because I was thinking about this just the other day. Think about our planet, right? Our planet is two-thirds ocean. We're only one-third land. The ocean is far bigger. And when you think about some of the animals in the ocean, like the whales and the dolphins, and like I've heard people say that they are keeping this planet together, right?
I
Because
have heard that with
yeah,
like
because
teachers and stuff like that. They're supposed to be very wise.
yeah, very wise, and because of the consciousness and all that, like, and put going out to the consciousness grid and like. so basically their love and consciousness and is like kind of making up, compensating for where we are so like savage and whatever. Do you know what I mean? So will maybe kept us from destroying ourselves. Sounds far-fetched, but I do believe it.
I definitely believe the planet needs more and more love.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's funny because it seems to be that I'm now almost like on a daily level meeting somebody, whether through Facebook Messenger, like that have the same idea for a mission, like as I do, of bringing more and more light and love to the planet. Because I really do feel like we can turn this whole thing around.
Yeah.
It's not consciousness, but it's like basically get off your ass, stop being sheeple, wake up, do your homework. You know what I mean? Grow, evolve, heal. Because to heal, you really need to look in the mirror and take responsibility for all your actions. We are not victims. And then once we do that, it does heal. And as we heal, we can have more light in our vessels and love people.
Yeah.
That's why we came here. We came here to love, not to hurt people.
Yeah. I agree. I agree for sure. That's what we need. That's what we need to happen. Yeah, because I've always felt that like the earth could go one way or the other. Either evil will triumph or good will triumph. But you know, I think that we need to make that decision.
I'm a proponent for the good.
Yeah, absolutely, and me too. Yeah, but we have to decide it as the human race collectively. We have to decide that that's our destiny. You know, because like it's like the old saying: all that needs to happen for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. You know, so
I see
so
good
true.
people standing up now. That's what I see. Good people, standing up. And they say if you're awake, the people that are conscious, we have a lot more pull because we're aware of our energy, we're responsible for our energy than the people that don't understand what's going on. That they're just floating.
I see.
And that makes sense to me too. So more people, because you only need a small percentage to be aware. But like I said, as more and more people wake up and become aware, it's like it opens a way for others to wake up. And I've seen that. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, and it makes sense to me as well. It does. It does make
This was a
sense.
heck of a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it is fun. It is fun. And oftentimes when we're talking, I find myself wanting to pause and just like ponder on a point that you've just made. And then I realize, well, no, I can't. I don't have that luxury because we're recording and we got to keep the conversation flowing. But a part of me just wants to kind of switch off for a minute and
I can see it in your eyes. You're like, you keep like.
I know. That's what's happening.
Point.
No, exactly. Yeah, because it's so interesting talking to you. Okay, but anyway, I had better end it here because if I don't, it's going to take forever to upload the thing.
Okay.
So,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
oh yeah, same here. Same here. It's been a really good time. So thank you so much, and anyone watching this, be rest assured that I will ask Daniela again to join me to talk about more space stuff and alien stuff. If you want to hear more spiritual stuff, sorry.
And I'll gladly say yes.
Oh, excellent, thank you. Yeah, and if you want more non-space and alien-related type material, more on the spiritual side of things, then go directly to Daniela DeCastro's YouTube channel or website, and I'll put the links in the description so that you can go there. So thank you, Daniela, and I will end the video here, and we can talk in a few minutes. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.